Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. I am the old school game snob, and in today's video, I am playing my new weird deck. Different from my old weird deck, this is my new weird deck, which consists of some Anubians, it consists of some Nethers, it has some zombies, and it has a whole lot of heal. It's got a couple of Return to Caves, it's got 2 Demogorgons, it's got Neferu, it's got Ember Onis, and then this deck is stacked in the 9 drops. We've got Hippocrates Monster, we've got Polyhymnia, we've got Echophon, and we've got Remus. Yeah. But one additional card that is the center point of this game. I only played this deck twice so far, but it's been kind of interesting each time. I actually wasn't really expecting much because it was just like randomly pieced together, but it's kind of fun. One unexpected card, which I will save for when it happens, turned out to be unexpectedly good. I have never played this card before, ever. I have never seen anyone play this card before, ever. It seemed like it wouldn't be very good. It was surprisingly good. Now, this may be a totally unique case scenario. I can see how nature would be a very good rock, paper, scissors against this card, in that rock, nature gets to be the scissors to this card's rock, so to speak. But now I'm kind of curious to play around with it some more. Yeah, like I say, it was unexpectedly, what's the word? Unexpectedly unbalancing in my favor. So, playing up against some sort of wild nature. I'm not exactly sure. We are in the Auric Gold range, I believe, here. Auric Gold or Solar Gold, whichever one's before Ethereal Diamond, I forget. I think it's Solar Gold. So early on, my opponent making short work of one of my Pyramid Wardens. I have another one, luckily. Never leave home without 2 Pyramid Wardens, that's what they say. That Pyro Beetle, though, I feel like I should have taken that out earlier on in the game when I had a shot to swing into it, because now it's becoming this rather large burn inflicting +3 regen creature, which is starting to look a little bit scary. At the moment, my opponent certainly has control of the board. The thing is, if I attack it, it's not really going to do anything, because that +3 regen is just going to nullify my attack. So I'm lining up Neferu here. I'm like, okay, I got to get everything down to 3 health. How do I do that? I don't really know. I don't really know if I can. I don't know if I can guarantee that I can get everything down to 3 health with what I've got right now. Eyeing up Volkas, but actually that just buffs one of his creatures and destroys a 1/1. Not really worth it. Also removes my front line, I believe, or my back line, so that's no good. Wind up Roller, just get a little more card draw. There we go. Like I say, this deck is stacked with heals. Crazy unbalanced heals. 2 Ember Onis, 2 Demogorgons, 2 Return to Caves. Yeah, that's kind of silly. Maybe I should stack Takat in here with some more of the Anubians and get that Blitzy Leech. Nah, it's probably overkill. And there's not enough Anubians. Could probably add some more Anubians, though. Anyway, I feel like at this point, my opponent is reaching for something to play, or just is expecting to get some good buffs on that Enraged Ally, and that makes sense, because yeah, for sure. The problem is, there's rarely a more tempting board than this for Neferu. Yeah, only that Pyroshell Beetle will survive. Oh, Neferu. I do love me some Neferu. The only sad thing is that I'm not at 15 health, so she can't come back into my hand over and over and over and over again. Unlimited board clears. That was kind of my thinking with Neferu. and return to cave is that I could possibly like exploit Neferu board clears over and over again and then return to cave to heal up if need be, but I've also got 2 Apocalypse Nows and 2 Bifurcating Curses in this deck, so there's one of them. So that's kind of crazy. So probably don't even need that much board clear, but one thing they always say is never leave home without as much board clear as you can get. That's one thing they always say. I do feel like I need to get rid of that Pyroshell Beetle, though, even if Neferu gets burned. That's okay. Luckily, I still have at least 4 super board wipes. 2 super duper board wipes and 2 strategic board wipes in form of Bifurcating Curse. And, like I say, my special guest surprise card, which turned out to be unexpectedly good, unbalancing, momentum swaying. By the way, appreciate the game to my opponent Melon, who showed to be a very good sport in this game, and certainly conducted himself with gentlemanliness. Yeah. Even though I'm about to do some awful things to his board a few times. Now, Dagon is one of those cards that can very quickly spiral out of control if you don't control it. Anything that gets regen starts going big. So at this point, I'm eyeing up that Apocalypse Now just to get rid of Dagon. Yeah, gotta get rid of Dagon. Grab the ham. The ham that makes my creatures big and strong and healthy and strong. Yeah, that's some good ham. At this point, Demogorgon probably would have been a good play, but I also didn't want to end it just yet because I kind of wanted to get the 9 mana and start using my big 9 drops. It's just, maybe that's evil. I don't know. Demogorgon probably would have been a good play, but oftentimes when you drop down Demogorgon, your opponent quits. So, yeah. Nobody ever said that Demogorgon was a fair and balanced card, which is probably why it has cost several $1,000s, at least in the past. I think it's dropped down a bit now, which makes me cry, but there we go. Now, here at this point, like I say, Demogorgon would have been the play, but again, I didn't want to make my opponent quit before I tried this card, because I never tried it before, and it seemed like I just wanted to try it. It seemed like I had a chance here to actually try it. Demogorgon would have been the correct play here, but I just wanted to try it. And I'm actually glad I did, because it turned out to be way different than I expected. I was expecting it not to be very good when I added it to my hand, and I've always never added it to my hand because I expected it to not be very good. But this time I finally did. And I was surprised by how it played. Sometimes the stats don't really share how a thing plays when it's actually like a live real game. Now, like I say, this is probably rock, paper, scissors against nature because he's got all those confused creatures on board, right? And they're all kind of low health creatures. So yeah, there we go. Warden of Kuket. Whenever your god takes damage, deal 2 damage to each other creature on the board. That's what he does. He's also a 3/12 body, right? So he can take it. Yeah, you know, he can dish it out decently well with 3. That's not too bad. But he can absolutely take it. There we see one example of him doing 2 damage to everything on the board after that Faithflame Blade hits me. Board clear number 1, almost. And there's me being unexpectedly happy by how well that went. And I think there's my opponent being like, what does that card do? I think I should read the text on that card. Maybe not. Maybe not. But there we go again. Another hit to the god and another 2 damage to everything. And he doesn't actually do damage to himself. Which I thought he would, but he doesn't. Anyway, I decided to drop down a... and here, like I said, the correct play might have been Rune of Strength, but... But I also wanted to make it possible to hit my god more still. I think I forgot to Soul Burn here. I can't remember now. But Soul Burn again is a trigger for that board wipe. Every time that every time you take damage to your god's face, it does 2 damage to everything else. So that creature is just sitting there as like an on-demand board wipe, with enough health and damage to basically deal with a lot of things that try to attack. But if you don't attack him, he just keeps wiping the board. It's kind of crazy. So he basically acts like a front line. He's either a front line, protecting your god from damage, quasi front line, or he's a board wipe. And so it's really interesting, the balancing a component to that. So there we go, trigger Soul Burn and board wipe. Like on-demand board wipe. Like, how can you not like that? I mean, unless you're playing against it. Then I can definitely understand how you would not like that. And here probably Guild Enforcer is the play, but I just wanted to try this guy a little bit more. I can say. Here we go, big vine-bound Jotun. Very big and very scary. But definitely props to Melon, good game. And it was, interesting to see this card, let's say its presence, because it's kind of a presence momentum play in a way, right? Because you could just trigger those board wipes whenever, or there's not quite board wipes, but those 2 damage possible board wipes or near 2 board wipes, depending on how big your opponent's creatures are. And this actually surprised me right here. So the overkill hits my god, and before this guy dies, he still does 2 damage to everything. I was expecting him to die first before he did his damage, but he didn't. Anyway, I'm going to definitely be playing around with this card more. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If anybody feels so inclined as to hit my Patreon link in the description of this video. I've also left my God's Ethereum wallet address in there, just in case anybody's feeling super generous. Catch you in the next video.